Hey guys, Majin Obama here, and it's that time of year again. EVO 2025 is just around the corner. It's going to be going on this weekend. But I wanted to do what I did every year, which is make a casual viewer's guide. If you guys have you've been checked out of the tournament scene for the past year, but you're tapping in for EVO, right? I say this every time we make this video. You make it more enjoyable for yourself if you can look at the 8 titles that are going to be played at this event, and you can have something or someone or someone you're cheering for or someone to follow in each respective game, so that Friday night when Street Fighter 6 pools have wrapped up and you know, maybe you play Tekken and Tekken's over, you can still kind of keep the stream on if you're watching from home, and when Mortal Kombat comes on, you go, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he's from this place. Oh, this match is a big deal. Just being able to have that level of engagement, even if you don't seriously play every game on the lineup, it'll make the event more fun for you, and it'll feel like you got more content out of it. And so with that said, let's take a look at the final numbers here. First game up, let's talk about SF6. So when I think about Street Fighter 6 and the storyline for that game going into this year, when you think about the big events for that game, it's usually like Tour Finals, Capcom Pro Tour Finals, EVO stages, and I would say also like EWCs, gamers EWC branded events. So those winners are all really easy to remember from my perspective. But here's the thing: Japan has been the, I think, most active community for this game, just pound for pound. I mean, this game, like, I've been making videos, Giuna's been making videos, we've been talking about it for the past 2 years. They've been going crazy out here for that game in a way to where you don't compare it to any other fighting game. It is a vastly different ecosystem. It punctured a hole in a glass ceiling for fighting games here, to where it's not even compared to fighting games anymore. It's just compared to other games. To me, when I think about the players who have won the big events for Street Fighter 6 since its launch, you had, of course, like Angry Bird won EVO, and then you had Punk with the win last year. Kakeru has won a Capcom Cup. He won Gamers 8, the initial Gamers 8 kickoff. Mena won both EVO Japans. That is crazy. So the big thing is Japan has not won an EVO-based event, an EVO title event for Street Fighter 6, which is kind of jarring considering how developed the field is here and how crazy the community is. So when I look at the spread right now of JP players that are currently signed up, and there's a lot of names that poke out, it's really just going to come down to who has the best weekend. But the other question is, can players from LATAM, Central America, North America, do they have a say in any of this? You know, Blaz is going to get another opportunity in a big open bracket, big stage. I mean, players like Punk, can he defend the throne? Then you can't forget about Southeast Asia too. You guys, Xiaohai coming, Zen, DCQ, Lashar. Where does EU fit in all this? EU, Middle East, Africa. There's a ton of competitors here. But to me, the big story for this event is, can Japan win an EVO title? Because it's the one thing that the community is kind of missing from their cabinet right now of wins. Paying attention to who from Japan trends towards the top end of that tournament, I think, will be the most interesting thing to pay attention for. With that said, let's take a look at Tekken 8. So Tekken 8 is kind of in a weird position right now because most of the story with the game is not about the competition, it's about the game. It's in a weird place. But if I were to say, you know, in my opinion, the stories to look out for this year are basically how competitors are able to adapt to the changing landscape of the game. This is a big deal. This game has been changed a lot in just the past 3 months alone, 3-4 months. But also, Korea versus Pakistan wrapped up right before Season 2 of this game launched, and that was a resounding win for Team Pakistan. And even though going to EVO is a little bit dicey for Pakistani passports, there were a few players that were able to register, and I think I saw at least Hafiz Danvir confirm that he would be able to travel and go. So I'm expecting at least Atif, Arslan Ash, Farzin, and Hafiz Danvir. Maybe a few of these others like Numan. This guy is crazy. This dude could really shake up the brackets. Sajawal, Khan, Bilal, Dawood Sikandar, and Malik Ash. These are Pakistani players. Usually the theme for EVOs pretty much since 2018 of it has been Pakistan versus Korea, Pakistan versus the world for a lot of these events, right? And I don't think this one is any different, but it does, I would say it's the flip side. To me now, it's about what is everyone else's answer to that dominance. What is Japan going to be putting on the table against these players? What is Korea's answer after losing in that exhibition earlier this year? But also, it's kind of interesting too. Nee and Arslan have been kind of like having spats on Twitter recently. So for me, if you were to ask me Tekken 8 coming into this event, what I want is grand finals. I want Arslan Ash versus Nee, and I want Nee to pick Nina, and I want Arslan Ash to pick Brian, so we have them settle it on stage like that. That to me would be Scorsese-esque cinematics is what I'm looking for this EVO. The other thing too is for a lot of these players, EWC qualification is a big deal, and the top 4 spots that aren't already qualified will get to move on to the EWC bracket that's going to be happening in just a week or two after EVO. So for a lot of these players who aren't already qualified, this is a big like toss-up of a bone, really, to players who aren't qualified, especially North American players, since they're going to be competing on home turf. So that's something to look forward to too. What Americans can crack this top 8 or make a strong run to get that EVO title. This next one is easy, because if you watched EWC City of the Wolves, then you already know what I'm about to say. I still am in shock and awe at how that grand final is cooked for City of the Wolves. And to me, this game this year, I think is probably the game I'm most excited to watch, just because the story is so simple. I'm looking at 2 guys, Xiaohai and Goichi, in this bracket. My whole thing is, what is Xiaohai's answer? Xiaohai, second place. And that should tell you something. If I'm talking about a second place finish in that dramatic fashion, this is a big deal for this. What is Xiaohai's answer after that EWC finish for City of the Wolves? If you guys didn't watch, I highly recommend you do. That's probably the most entertaining City of the Wolves gameplay that's happened yet, and it was awesome. It was a really good final bracket. So Goichi had a big win, but my thing is Xiaohai is not somebody to take those kinds of losses on his ass. My question is, what's he going to bring to the table at this event in this game? If you guys don't know, SNK titles, especially on EVO stages like this one, when we end up with, like, for example, what happened with Sam's show, the first year at EVO was an awesome top 8 because you got a lot of multi-game players who are, again, global elite level players from different scenes all competing in one game like that, but you get to see it in like a vacuum like that, a smaller collection of them, a more concentrated version of it compared to like Street Fighter 6. And it was a lot of fun to watch. Be on the lookout for this one. I'm telling you, this one might be really fun to check out. Next game is Guilty Gear Strive. Okay, so next I decided to talk to, so the way we're going to do this year, I actually, for the last 4 games, I talked with people that I either know or people who are really in tune with these scenes, and I had conversations with them about going into this event, what they're looking for. Take a listen to them and check out their socials for any more information on some of these players or what you can look forward to at EVO for these respective titles. And so, of course, next is going to be Grand Blue Versus. So I ended up with talking with Virum, who has been covering the game pretty much since the beginning.
So there's definitely a good handful of players that people definitely want to watch out for. Of course, returning to EVO this year is Aaron DeMack, last year's EVO Vegas champion. He's had a bit of a quiet season since Aqua Tour Finals, so it'll be really interesting to see what he has to offer going into this tournament. Aside from that, the iconic classic rivalry between Gamera and Tororo, both of those two of the best players in Japan, very often see them in grand finals for a lot of events. They're both going to be at EVO as well. And then on top of that, we have a lot of really strong US players that have really been kind of making a name for themselves over the past year. Players like Zane, who has won multiple tournaments. Blue Sky Guy with the Vasaraga, especially considering that character was very recently buffed. He had a great run at CEO very recently. We have Koji Coco and Vermilion, who were finalists last year. So it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how those players fare. I'd say the one other thing as well is Gamera over the past couple of EVOs hasn't been performing that well. He got 49th or 65th, I believe, at EVO Japan, 33rd at EVO Vegas last year. So it'll be definitely interesting to see if he's able to really kind of break that little curse that he's been having and actually do incredibly well this year.
This next guy is King of COD. This is a old head from my original scene in the Louisiana scene, and he pretty much he's a Marvel 2 head. And so I gave him a call, and we talked a little bit about the event coming up and what to expect for Marvel 2. You're gonna see a lot of old dudes. You see a lot of old dudes, but they still got fangs. You know what I mean? They still got it.
The execution, it can't be understated how hard, like, what you're seeing it is to do, to actually pull it off. You spending hours and hours. This is not no like 45 minutes in the gym type stuff. This is like months, years, particularly if you get to see Chaos versus Yipes. That is a particular match that's been, like I say, very similar to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, as far as like, it's like this legendary battle that just, for whatever reason, it just has never happened, you know? You'd argue they're almost out of their primes, but because of EVO, they're probably practicing again. And again, you're not going to see them at their top level, but this is about the best you're going to get, and this might be the only time you get it. Again, not just focus on one particular matchup for the whole tournament, but that is something that I personally am looking forward to a lot. As far as the skill level between, the execution level between those two, if I was a young player, that's something I'd be really focused on what they're doing during that match. Like if that match happens, that's gonna be like the pinnacle of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, honestly. The only bad thing about that is, even with their execution, sometimes you can get lamed out. like a guy like Roundhouse. I mean, if you watch Roundhouse play, it's not, again, no disrespect, but it's not like impressive. It's from an execution standpoint. He is, he just steady. He just wins. You know, even a guy like Bill Wellman. Like I don't look at him as like a combo genius, but he gets it done. He just wins. You know, it's like I guess you would say it's like a lower level Justin Wong. Justin Wong, he can do the combos too, but his more thing, you know, he just kind of wins. Not so much like he's not putting on the combo expedition. He's just winning.
Next is Shinobi. I ended up talking with him a little bit about, if you don't know, Shinobi runs Climax at Night, one of the best tournaments in North America. It's a lot of fun. I went last year. I can't wait to go back this year. But I talked to him a little bit about what to expect for Under 9 Ember 2, Sis Celeste, at EVO this year.
Well, I mean, you said it best. The story still remains. Going into this EVO, who in the world is going to beat Sonaru? As everybody knows, Sonaru did win EVO last year, which gave him the spot in the Arc World Tour Finals, which he did end up winning. So every time you see Sonaru, he ends up winning something. So I think the story right now going into EVO is Japan, you know, obviously Sonaru versus the world, right? Even Japan wants to try and get on top of Sonaru, especially with previous members of the World Tour like Shacho Watanabe. He's also going to be in this event. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he performs. In terms of the Americas, we have a lot of talent coming in. You know, same people from last year. Defiant, Big Black, Mario, Knots, the usual suspects, right? In terms of like the upsets, the upsets that we saw last year were amazing. People like Lid, Nox, Silicon. Like there are some high level play going into this upcoming EVO. On the Japan side, once again, like Shacho Watanabe, Rippu, Miyagi Muteki, Crow, the list goes on and on. So for right now, though, all I can say is Sonaru, high key favorite going into it. But if somebody knocks him off, that's definitely going to be big. I think the appeal for the game right now, especially that the game has been out for more than a year, has been variety. There has been a lot of, what they call like low tier warriors. I think the variety of the game shows a lot of how much it's grown over the past year. Even people like Defiant pick up the newer characters like Uzuki during the World Finals and seeing what she can do. Something along the lines of characters that people have not really seen before. It gives people choice, huge variety of who to pick. EVO is definitely the place to go to witness the game in its variety and high level. Peace!
Finally, I was able to talk to my man Tento, who I'm sure we'll see at the event as well, alongside some of these other folks that I've talked to. I was able to talk to him about MK1 going into this event and how kind of the pro competition circuit has shaken up and basically what you have to look forward to going into that event this year.
Story going to the game, well, one of the big stories, of course, is Sonic Fox looking to get their 10th EVO title, which means they will beat Justin Wong. So that's actually a huge compliment, like, over EVO overall of itself. So that's one. Online Kale, the son of Online Tony, being a child prodigy the way he is, possibly able to do that as well too. Brazil hinting that they might come in heavy for EVO to see what they could do with that. And then also another child prodigy from Europe coming to the States for the first time ever, Connie Mani, 18 years old, considered the best and definitely the best in Europe. And EU actually is actually coming to EVO and to see if they can get their title too. So like it's a couple storylines going into this, as well as it being the last demigod event for the pro comp. A lot of points on the line. The appeal is the level of competition it brings, and then also just seeing the rise of like as you know. I don't want to sound like this, but like no offense, you're like we're getting older. You kind of more so than me.
There's no offense to be taken.
Just making sure. Some people feel good about it, like I'll bring up the age thing. But like seeing the new age kids like I said, Connie Mani, Hourglass of Rain, what's called Online Kill. Those being those young dogs, and then you go into Street Fighter, go against like Blas, Karime. Seeing those young kids come up and just see like this is the new generation, what are they gonna do? And we're seeing them on a big stage. That's the big thing that I'm seeing that people like. They're like, what are the kids What are they going to be able to dethrone the people like your Rewinds, your Sonic Foxes, your Ninja Killers? Are they about to come up? That's the biggest story I think I see so far.
So there you have it. Thanks again for watching. And if any of this was interesting to you guys, or if you think that there's another story, maybe there's something I missed, or if is there a player that you're looking out for that you think is going to win or take it all, let me know in the comments below, and I'll holler at you guys down there. But yeah, enjoy EVO weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this casual viewer's guide to the event and what to expect. If you guys see me on the show floor, be sure to say what's up. Also, make sure you guys head to the Tento booth. I'm going to have some merch drop in there alongside some of my other friends. They're going to have some good stuff there. Trust me, save your money, get to the booth early, make sure you get there while they got stock. Some of that stuff is gonna go quick, trust me. But if you guys see me on the show floor, be sure to say what's up. I'll see you there. Everybody be easy.